I need some wood slices for our current project. We're working on the fireplace downstairs, and I am just going to pick out some wood here.
Today we're going to be using this wood, some wood logs, and some paint to make a wood log insert for our faux fireplace. You may have recently watched our video. Zeb custom built a faux fireplace for our basement. It will never house a real fireplace, so we've got to put something in the middle that'll make it look good and kind of tie into our whole theme. So we're going to show you how to use a few things you may or may not have around your house to create an inset for your fireplace. If you don't have a faux fireplace and you have a real one, you can still do this, especially in the summer months when you're not using it. Just cut it to fit and you can slide it right in. You're gonna start with a piece of board that you're gonna cut to fit your specific fireplace. This is a tabletop that we had left over from an old project. We always like reusing old things if we can. It saves money and it's less that we have to throw out. If you don't have an old tabletop, you could use plywood, or you could even use MDF, would work great. Just make sure that you cut it to fit your space. We're gonna be using Best Black and Fairy Chalk Mother today. I have a huge gallon of it, so I just poured out enough for this project. I'm also using my 2-inch chiseled zebra brush that you can pick up at JamiRayVintage.com, as well as the paint. So I'm just gonna, hopefully I can fit this down in here. My spaghetti jar is a little too small. And I'm just gonna put one coat. It covers really well, so one coat is all you're gonna need for this project. I'm also not gonna worry about sealing it because most of it will be covered with wood slices. I just want the space in between to be dark instead of light. Well, what the heck? We'll just pour it out like that. There we go. The applied method here is not recommended, but I don't feel like dipping it. All right, so we're gonna let this dry. It'll probably take half hour. So if it was a piece of furniture, I'd let it dry 2 hours, but once this is dry to the touch, we're gonna move on to the next step. So Zeb's gonna take you into the garage and show you how he's cutting down our wood logs, and when he's done with that, this should be dry, and we'll attach them to our piece.
I've got my tree branch selected here, and I'm just gonna cut about 3 to 4 inch intervals off, and the bark, some of the bark may chip off because this is pretty rotted, but some might not. So that's what we're after right there. That's the whole deal. If you don't have access to your own tree branches or miter saw so that you can make your own wood slices, there's a ton of options online. I just did a quick search for wood slices and it brought up a bunch of Etsy links and Amazon affiliates and all kinds of stuff. So there's always a resource there if you really want to do the project and you can't get a hold of an actual tree. It's time to put these wood slices onto our backer board here, our lovely scrap table backer board.
You're so dramatic. Dun, dun, dun. All right. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go all the way around the edge and create a border with wood slices. Then we're gonna fill in the middle. We're using our pneumatic staple gun from the back, but I read on a few blog posts that some people just use wood glue, poked it down, and then let it sit for 24 hours, and then it held just fine.
Yeah, I'll probably glue the ones in the center. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. I might just staple everything.
Yeah, we'll see.
It might get glued and stapled.
We don't want to wait 24 hours, so.
I don't have time for that. I gotta get this video up today.
All right.
Okay, watch your hand. Pull your hand back away.
Oh, don't I have to hold it?
That is not the proper I'm about to staple something face.
That's my face.
Okay. So Jamie's just organizing this how she wants them. So if they're not random enough, it's on her. Keep holding. So these are 1 5/8
Get the one on the bottom.
18 gauge staples. Oh, you didn't hold it tight. Here, I'll hold this. You put them up and I'll staple. And we gotta be careful not to go over the edge because this is like right flush with the space.
We gotta be careful not to staple Jamie's fingers.
I'm not gonna staple your
Well,
fingers.
that looks dirty. This side.
We can't have the dirty side out.
It's like chicken
We got like chicken feathers on here,
okay,
but we
can
can't
you go
have the dirty
in
side
between,
out.
like right there, you think you can get that one?
Let's see, where is that?
Right there.
Did it.
Yeah. Okay. It's good enough. Alright. Alright, so we're getting into the middle here, and I'm just going to go line by line so that way Zeb can see it and kind of see how far it is from the one next to it. And hopefully he can get the nail, hit the nail on the head, this one.
So what I'm doing on these little ones is I'm kind of finding where I am vertically on here, and then I'll look down over on the side and make sure that my stapler's kind of in the right spot on the plane there. And done.
So far, you're doing good.
Haven't missed yet.
Okay, there we go.
The moment of truth, does it fit? It got really heavy, really fast, and I designed it so that it has to slide up in. Trouble is there's nowhere to grab it from without pulling these off. So I designed it a little longer so that it goes up underneath this lip here, and then I'm going to put 2 screws on the side. I have to do a little repainting. Yep. Either that or Magic Eraser's going to get some good work. Actually, it doesn't even need screwed in. It fits up in there pretty tight.
Remember when I was working on the clay pot tutorial and I was telling you that I bought a big bag of moss because I needed some for the next project? This is the next project. So I'm just using this moss that I got from Michael's. I'm just coming in and kind of filling in the void with the moss. There's a few bigger holes in here. I mean, it doesn't all have to be filled in. And it's gonna make a big mess and I have to vacuum it up like that.
Zhuzh it.
Zhuzh it, yeah. Just make it look all natural and old. And tell children, please don't touch it. They haven't. Our kids probably won't touch it. It's other people's children. Because our kids haven't touched the stuff on the coffee table. So I'm almost done getting this in here. I saw this first. There's a gal I follow on Instagram. Her name is Cottonstem. Well, actually, her name is Erin. But her Instagram handle is Cottonstem. And she has these 2 pretty faux fireplaces in her house. And she used the moss. And I kind of like the natural element. Plus, it helps fix any problems you might have. Because you didn't fill it in correctly.
Hey, you puzzled that together.
I feel like I did pretty good.
Yeah, it looks
You
great.
couldn't have done it because it has to be random.
I know, I couldn't have done the random. All my big sizes would have been together and my little sizes would have been together.
It would have like said your name in wood.
Yep.
Alright, so our project is all done. I feel like this really completes the look of the faux fireplace. It was kind of like a big white black hole. It also adds like a fun natural element, you know?
Yeah, we were looking at doing like faux brick back here. They sell the sheets at Home Depot of the brick, but we decided on this. Jamie really likes this, and I actually like the way it turned out too. I was a little hesitant to put the moss in because I kind of like the way it looked with just the wood stacked, but it looks cool. I like it.
It's okay as long as nobody messes with it. Like
Yeah, if you come over here and sneeze, all the moss is coming out.
well, hopefully.
We could probably hot glue it in, but we didn't.
I think it'll be okay.
Yeah.
Hold on, oops. Hold on.
It'll be okay once all the loose stuff falls off.
And then what stays? Well, what it'll be, what stays. Anyways, no, I think it looks awesome. Also, the good thing about this is it cost us, this was left over from my project from yesterday. The wood's all from our backyard. The tabletop was scrap, so it cost us
free.
Like $0 because we used all leftover materials.
Well, how much does the moss cost? Because you used most of the moss on this project.
It was like $7. So I used like $2 on the project yesterday and $5.
So if we count the staples and the electricity it took me to
$10.
run the saw, we're under $10.
And I think that that's a better option than spending $30 on fake brick.
Yeah.
And then having to smear it and all that kind of stuff.
And even if you were to buy the backer board, you could probably get away with doing something for about, you want it to be at least 1/2 inch because it did get really heavy. That wood weighs a lot.
Yeah, you can't just use thin backer board.
I would at least use 1/2 inch plywood. So.
But if you want it to be lighter, just do your wood not so deep.
Yeah, because these are cut to anywhere from 2 to about 3.5, and it gives us a good variation. Like it's a piece of stacked wood out in the wood yard or whatever by the side of the house.
That's why I put the moss, because it makes it look real.
Gotcha.
Like it's been sitting there for a while and the moss has been growing, like somewhere like Washington.
Mm-hmm. And then every now and then there's a spot where there isn't moss and the black is back there. It just hides it. That Fairy Chalk Mother Best Black is really dark and it just hides it up back there.
Yeah, and one coat is sufficient. Don't worry about sealing it because you're going to be covering up most of it anyways.
Yeah.
So I hope this inspires you. If you don't have a fake fireplace and you have a real one and you want to do this, you can just make it so it comes in and out. I saw somebody had a fireplace that was no longer functional and they just did this to cover it up.
Yeah.
So.
Summertime, throw this in there.
Be sure to go to jamirayvintage.com for all your paint and crafting supplies. Give us a thumbs up. Hit that notifications button so you can get our next video, which I don't know what it's going to be. You know what it's going to be?
No, I don't know what we're doing next.
And subscribe to Jami Ray Vintage for more DIY.